Undefeated Alliance. How do you not become the #1 team when you got a 47-game win streak and a 25-0 record and you're the defending champs? Well, they're South Sioux. Enough said. They've been here plenty of times on Championship Saturday. They know the route here from Northeast Nebraska as we take a look at where these two teams hail. Alliance from west, South Sioux City from the north. Already South Sioux has had a chance to avenge, in a way, the two teams that most recently won state championships besides them. Gretna was one. Alliance could be the other today. South Sioux had a scare in game 1 against Gretna, then going to overtime. But yesterday, a little bit easier task against Elkhorn. While Alliance, how's this grab you? Alliance was shut out in the second quarter yesterday, and they still beat Pius X 39-29. Should be a great matchup. There's some great players in this game, and we'll tell you all about it here in just a little bit as Alliance gets ready to battle South Sioux City for the state championship. It's been a beautiful day outside, great basketball going on inside, and we look forward to bringing you this third game of 6 on this championship Saturday. Remember, this is a change from years past. Usually Class A fit here, but this year flip-flop the schedule. Class A is tonight at 7. Class B right now, coming up.
Rising from acres of Midwestern farm fields, a revolution is coming. A new era of energy independence from foreign oil. It's called soy biodiesel. Made with soybean oil, this fuel is a sustainable, renewable resource. America, it's time for an oil change. Soy biodiesel, grown in the Midwest.
Programming provided by Nebraska Public Power District.
My job with Nebraska Public Power District takes me to new heights, offers me challenging experiences. Like me, the utility cares about Nebraska. I go home at night knowing that what I do makes a difference. To put it simply, I am where I want to be.
Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us. Together with your local public power utility.
A good cowboy can't go to bed at night if his cows are hungry. You spend all of your life taking care of animals.
These are the stories that made Nebraska the beef state. Coming this June on NET1 and NET HD.
The Class B championship is on deck here on Championship Saturday at the Devaney Center. Alliance versus South Sioux City. Both teams with a lot of premier players. Kevin Suits, John Bishop. This should be a dandy, John.
Yeah, it should. You know, you talk about premier players, and there's no Robinettes, there's no Charlie Rogers, there's no Jenny Flynn's on this year's South Sioux City team, but don't let that fool you. You still have very good basketball players playing what has been one of the best team concepts in all of girls basketball in the history of the state. No program has had the kind of success that South Sioux City has had. On the other side for Alliance, it all begins and ends with Jordan Hooper, who could be the best sophomore we've ever seen.
One of the best players in the state, bar none. She's been fantastic in the state tournament. Can South Sioux City contain her? Kelly Flynn says that's goal number 1 today.
Well, and can Alliance somehow find a way to score points in the second quarter? They haven't done it yet in the state tournament, which is amazing but true. But yet, they play good defense, and as we saw in last year's championship, they make their free throws.
Almost the national record. That was just crazy because they were money at the charity stripe. This should be a good one, John. All in all, South Sioux City Alliance, it's anybody's game.
No doubt about it. Let's get ready and meet the Cardinals and the Bulldogs, the Class B championship. Here once again is public address announcer Steve Roberts.
Good afternoon, basketball fans. On behalf of the Nebraska School Activities Association, welcome to the Bob Devaney Sports Center for the Class B championship game in the 2008 Girls State Basketball Championship. This contest features, with a record of 25-0, the Alliance Lady Bulldogs. And with a record of 23-1, the South Sioux City Cardinals. Now let's meet the players and coaches. First, the non-starters for the visiting team from Alliance High School. Number 4, Jenny Peltz. Number 14, Anna Wimmer. Number 15, Jasmine Clark. Number 24, Kayla Friesen. Number 25, Jessie Maddox. Number 31, Ronnie Kunzman. Number 50, Devin Collins. Here are the non-starters for the home team from South Sioux City High School. Number 4, Allison Pfeiffer. Number 10, Sarah Carruthers. Number 12, Molly Fusher. Number 24, Hillary Palsma. Number 33, Nikki Hanisch. Number 40, Emily Schroeder. Number 44, Sadie Cardwell. Introducing the starting lineup for the Alliance Lady Bulldogs. A 5'7" senior, number 20, Krista McDonald. A 5'8" junior, number 23, Lindsay Briggs. A 5'11" senior, number 33, Brooke Peters. A 6'3" sophomore, number 35, Jordan Hooper. A 5'11" senior, number 40, Audrey Van Tilburg. The assistant coach is Heidi Mannion, and the Lady Bulldogs head coach in his first season is Nate Lonick. And now introducing the starting lineup for the South Sioux City Cardinals. A 5'8" junior, number 3, Cody Fisher. A 5'9" senior, number 23, Alexa Phipps. A 6'1" junior, number 32, Michaela Knudsen. A 5'8" senior, number 35, Autumn Boyer. A 6'2" freshman, number 51, Kristen Sharp. The assistant coaches are Ed Wiltgen, Trish Martin, Dana Lehner, and Drew Wagner. And the Cardinals head coach in his 24th year is Kelly Flynn. Teams, shake hands with your opponents and let's get ready to play. Today's game officials, as assigned by the NSAA, are Steve Atkinson, Ryan Gruppe, and Mr. Doug Stevenson. And the bench official is Scott Cotton.
South Sioux City Alliance should be a fantastic matchup here in Class B, as the Cardinals go for their 11th state championship. They had streaks of 4 and 6 in a row at one point before Ogallala knocked them off right in the middle of that string. And then last year, inexplicably, by just hundredths of a point, South Sioux missed out on a state tournament. They weren't even here last year.
That's strange to think, because that dynasty started really in the 90s. It's when they had their big run. It carried over to the new millennium. Not even a chance to play for the state championship. They haven't. This is their first time back in the title tilt since 2005. So I think Kelly Flynn wants to go out on top again, but standing in the way is a pretty talented Alliance team.
Yeah, who has a lot of pride on the line. They have held up the banner for Western Nebraska for the last 2 years. A lot of folks weren't certain if they were going to be able to handle what the East had to throw at them last year, but they ran the gauntlet. They beat Crete in the finals, and they have not lost since. 47 wins in a row. Here's Hooper right off the bat from the free throw line. Missed the jump shot, and South Sioux with the rebound. Bulldogs from Alliance in blue, South Sioux in white.
Hooper quick to pull the trigger on the first possession. That's surprising because the previous 2 games of the state tournament, Alliance really hasn't gone to her a whole lot in the first half.
Hooper has scored 30 points in 2 games here at the state tournament, but those still under her average. Her average is 18 per game. Steal, here come the Cardinals. Fisher down the floor, but stopped right there by Lindsay Briggs. Good defense by Briggs, sealing her off.
John, we'll see a lot of good, clean basketball. Both these teams are so fundamentally sound, very smart on the court. And I think a lot of that comes from their head coaches.
Kelly Flynn, the veteran head coach. This is the first year, though, for that man, Nate Lanick, as the head coach. You might recall last year, Dave Souter coached his final game in the state championship and went out a state champion.
without shooting a free throw.
He didn't. Rest
But
of
his
the team
team shot
did.
a lot of them. They were one off the national record for consecutive free throws in the game.
Nice feed by Hooper right down low to Audrey Van Tilburg. You saw how they collapsed in, South Sioux did, on Hooper, but that left the back door open, and closing it off was Van Tilburg, and it's 2-0 in favor of Alliance.
Van Tilburg very could be the X factor in this ballgame. So much attention always paid to Jordan Hooper. That usually leaves somebody open, and if it's Van Tilburg, she can make you pay. She's always a threat from beyond the arc and inside.
You see that great ball movement by South Sioux City. However, Alliance, with good interior defense, keeps it right there. You got to watch this, though. Those active guards. It would not be a Cardinal basketball team without active, aggressive guards, both offensively and especially on defense. Hooper off the glass for her first two, and it's 4-0 in favor of Alliance.
Well, the one thing South Sioux City has going for them is they have a lot of bodies down low, some very talented bodies. There's one of them, Tristan Sharp. So they've got a big task in front of them, but across all of Class B, if there's somebody that I think can shut down Jordan Hooper, it's possibly the tandem that South Sioux City has down low.
Saw Audrey Van Tilburg force the tie-up, but the possession arrow stays with South Sioux. A look-in entry. Hooper nearly denied it. Down through the lane and a kick back out. No, that's Autumn Boyer running through the lane, but missed the jumper. Alliance with the early lead. South Sioux still scoreless. As we said, this is not the superstar-laden South Sioux team as we get a whistle bringing it into the front court. Cody Fisher with the foul. This is not the superstar-laden South Sioux City team, but they still average 72 points a game.
Yeah, I guess if you have to single somebody out, it's Michaela Knudsen, who's had a really good state tournament so far, but it's more of a cast of character team approach for South Sioux.
A look inside. Hooper had it for a moment. Very active hands. You got to watch where you're going with that basketball because it can be swatted away in a heartbeat. Into the front court. This is Phipps. A look down low. Here's Sharp. Oh! Foul is called. That brought the Alliance fans off their feet.
Hooper was on the backside. She saw the ball go down low. Here she comes, went up for the swat. There's a foul. It's on Van Tilburg. The swat was clean. It was just too much body from the other Alliance defender.
So to the free throw line, Tristan Sharp. That's right, she's a freshman.
Size, though. I mean, a lot of Class B teams do not have a player the size of Tristan Sharp. 6'2". You got a player, especially in a game of this magnitude.
And you wonder as well how much more growing she might have left to do. But you're right, it's very rare to see a freshman at 6'2" tall.
Only going to get better.
Of course, Jordan Hooper last year as a freshman was 6'3", so somewhere in Alliance and somewhere in South Sioux, they've been putting on fertilizer or something. There's a steal. Boyer takes it away. She was all by herself back there. 3 ball on the way for the lead. No. Offensive board, though. That was pulled in by Schroeder. South Sioux gets another chance outside the arc. 3 on the way. It's good. Cody Fisher, you got to watch the 3. It's another South Sioux trait. They can hit you from the outside as well, and they have their first lead.
The other trait for the Cardinals is they're a quick strike team. You know, if they get down on the ropes, they're never going to panic because they know they can rattle off 5 to 9 to 12 points right in a row. It's something they did to advance to the semifinals. Remember, they were down by 6 with 1:30 against Gretna, and they rallied to win.
That's why Jordan Hooper is so dangerous. She's not only got the size, but the athleticism following her shot that time and getting the kiss off the glass. 3 again from the corner from Fisher, but this one falls short. And now it's Alliance basketball with a 1-point lead. It's going to be incumbent on those Alliance guards as we get another steal to handle that pressure. If they can't, Hooper is not going to be able to save them today.
Well, the interesting thing is with South Sioux City, they're always very aggressive with their trapping defense. A lot of times when you're trapping, It can leave somebody open. Can Jordan Hooper find that open person? Because there's always going to be a body on Hooper. You can count on that.
3:56 left to play here in the first period. This is the Class B championship.
Programming on NET television is made possible in part by U.S. Bank. The U.S. Bancorp Foundation supports charitable, educational, and community service-oriented organizations in communities across Nebraska and the nation. U.S. Bank employees dedicate their time and efforts to local causes they are truly passionate about. U.S. Bank. Wherever you go, you'll find us.
Get ready for the Osmonds! Celebrating 50 years of entertainment. Don't miss the Osmonds reunion concert.
Coming soon to NET1.
Close contest early, 6-5. Alliance with the lead over South Sioux City. We're halfway through the opening period.
South Sioux will get it on the inbound. This is Molly Fusher. Just had it poked away. Phipps looking around for Nicole Hanisch. Haven't called Michaela Knutsen's name yet. There she has it against Hooper. That shot may have been altered. Somehow they got it back, and a foul. That one's going to go on Hooper.
Well, Knutsen went up with it first to try to get the foul. Didn't get the call. Got the ball right back. Second time, does get the foul. A lot of defenders. 3 blue jerseys right there.
Yeah, that's a big matchup. You got a pair of all-staters going at each other. Michaela Knutsen averaging 14 points a game, and of course the state knows a lot about Jordan Hooper.
That's a veteran coaching move too by Kelly Flynn, coming right out of a timeout. The secret's out now. He just said in that timeout, go at her, try to get a foul. They did it twice, and they got it on the second time.
Unfortunately, Knutsen missed the first foul shot, so she'll have to do it one more time. 1 of 2 on that trip, and we're tied at 6. And again, trap at half court.
So you can tell the Alliance ball handlers are a little unsure what to do because there's defenders flying at them from all directions.
Hooper takes it up, and she is fouled. And we're going to have exactly the opposite scenario take place as Knutsen commits the foul, this time on Hooper. Yep,
just going to be a nice little battle between those two girls all game long.
Yeah, it's not very often that in girls basketball that you see a couple of post players or players that are going to play predominantly in the post have that kind of a battle. Hooper's all-staters.
Yeah, Hooper's 6'3", Knutsen 6'1". One's a junior, one's a sophomore. I think they'll meet a few more times down the road, too.
They certainly could. 8-6 in favor of Alliance. There's Fusher, bounce pass entry, Schroeder, good.
I really think that is the strength or the strongest asset that South Sioux City has today. Either Schroeder or Sharp, those big bodies down low can really pay positive dividends.
And then you got the guards like Hanisch who makes the steal, the basket, the foul, and count it. Again, that's, again, the X factor. If you have Knutsen and Hooper canceling each other out, then it comes down to the other matchups, and it's all about guards. And, man, you won't find better guards in the state. And a lot of them, they may not score a lot. In fact, you look at Nicole Hanisch, she only averages 2 points a game. But they're very good on defense. They coach defensive fundamentals. Kelly Flynn has over the years.
3-point ball game now. South Sioux City out in front.
Hooper into the front court, and even though she's a good ball handler, that is still not necessarily what Alliance wants. Nice job by Audrey Van Tilburg to deny the entry pass.
Why Alliance does not want that is because Hooper, she's dribbling, and remember, when she's standing upright, she's 6'3", and there's all those short guards reaching in there, scrapping, clawing, and she's in the middle of the floor, so there's going to be a lot of hands involved in that sequence. So catch the ball, hold it high, look for somebody, kick out.
Exactly. There's a long way for that ball to bounce back and forth. Just more room for the guards to make the play. Entry pass into Schroeder. And they'll bring it back out. They'll drive in, and for a moment there, it looked like Hanisch wasn't quite sure if she should shoot it or not. I think she was a little surprised that she had an opportunity to shoot.
So just reset and start again.
2.5 left to play here in the first quarter. 5-second count was on, but they get it in time. Fisher looks around outside for Hanisch. Again, they'll try to enter it into the lane. Denied again by the Bulldogs. Here comes the freshman, and a foul. They're going to get Hooper on that one, and that's number 2.
A lot of post-to-post passing for South Sioux City. That time we went high post, low post. And there's been a couple other times in this ballgame they'll go across the lane from low block to low block. And because if you're making those passes, that means everything concentrates in the lane. Potential for fouls.
And here's Sharp, the freshman. Makes the first free throw. Now you've got to believe that Kelly Flynn is going to continue to push that ball inside and try to get Hooper into some foul trouble. And he, unlike many of the teams that face Alliance during the season, have the taller, more post-presence players that you need in a situation like that.
Absolutely.
By the way, Hooper has just checked out of the game. So Van Tilburg becomes essentially the post player now in the Alliance offense.
So you put Van Tilburg down in the post trying to cover both Schroeder and Sharp. And keep in mind, Van Tilburg, she's not exactly the tallest player on the team at 5'11".
13-8, biggest lead of the game for either team in this one. Lindsey Briggs, who's had a great state tournament, she's trapped at the half court. Top of the circle, 3 on the way. Off the back of the iron, no good by Peters. And again, South Sioux City, with the good defense, forcing that outside shot. Boyer down through the lane. Hanger may have been partially blocked.
Great take, though. Saw the same attack, but good defense by Alliance.
And another steal. This time, numbers not there as Alliance is back quickly, so South Sioux will reset.
Again, John, there's just those active hands in the middle of the court.
And we got an offensive foul, and I think that one's going to be on Sharp. Sharp was trying to move in defensive position and ran through the Alliance player and picks up her first foul. Take a look at it again. It's away from the basketball. We may see it when the ball reverses back. Yep.
It's down low there.
Now that's a disadvantage when you've got Brooke Peters, who's 5'11". Sharp is 6'2". That's good 3 inches.
When you're putting up your arms to get position, you're going right around the collar.
Right around the face. Underneath, it's Peters. Alliance fans howling for some interior fouling, but no dice. 13-8, South Sioux City. And there's a foul on Alliance. I think this one's going to be, as you take a look at 33, Brooke Peters.
The tempo has really slowed down here, John. The first 4 minutes of the ballgame went pretty fast. There was a lot of up and down action. Now a lot of fouls being called, so it's going to might turn into an X's and O games if it keeps this up.
Well, and you've just taken the freshman Sharp out of the game, and a little bit smaller lineup now for South Sioux City, and we will see if that translates into that faster pace. Foul down low, that's going to be on Audrey Van Tilburg. And that is her second foul. So you got Van Tilburg and Hooper now playing with 2 fouls apiece. We still have 45 seconds left here in the period. That could be crucial.
More importantly, that's the 7th team foul on Alliance. So South Sioux is in the 1-and-1 already.
I'm trying to remember,
the first quarter.
Did we even have a bonus in the first 2 games?
Not that I can recall, no.
I don't believe so. May have been in the last game, but I don't think so. So already one team in the bonus, and we're not out of the first quarter yet. And again, that has to be attributed to the strategy that Kelly Flynn has, and that is punch that ball down low and draw fouls. Loose save, nice play off the back. Alexa Phipps keeps it alive for South Sioux, and now they are going to get a final possession here, leading by 7 here in the first quarter. Tough last 4 or 5 minutes here for Alliance.
Just kind of went cold, offense sputtering a bit.
seconds, 7 seconds now. Down, looked at the lane. This will be it. No, they will not count. That will not count. South Sioux worked it around, finally had a shot, but they ran out of time. First quarter in the books. Class B championship. South Sioux City leads it 15-8.
Hi, I'm Matt Davison, and I drive Nebraska's highways almost every day. Please use caution when driving in winter weather, and watch for highway workers as they clear the roads. Slow down when you meet a snowplow, and don't brake suddenly if you're traveling in front of one. They can't stop as quickly as a car or pickup. If you're gonna head out in winter weather, check out the Nebraska Travel Information website at 511nebraska.org, or just dial them at 511. Don't take any chances this year. If there's ice and snow, take it slow.
Programming on NET television is provided in part by Education Quest Foundation. For over 20 years, Education Quest has provided free college planning resources to help students search colleges, search for scholarships, complete financial aid applications, and learn more about student loans. Education Quest is located in Kearney, Lincoln, and Omaha. Appointments available at 800-666-3721.
(15-8) is the score. Nice paint job.
Let's get that at Earl Scheib. It's only 99-99. Well, we start the second quarter with another Alliance turnover, and South Sioux City is right back at it offensively. 15-8 our score. Traveling. We're going to get Knudsen with the travel there. Hooper, by the way, back on the floor. She's got 2 fouls for Alliance.
Shuffling the feet, catch the ball. Those minor errors don't happen too often for a typically fundamentally sound South Sioux City team.
See if they can set up in the half court, and flying into the media area goes Autumn Boyer, trying to get her hands on the basketball. Alliance with a substitution. Jasmine Clark will come in as you take a look at Autumn Boyer.
Alliance really has to watch their passes just because of a lot of them are getting deflected. They're going to have to go to the bounce. You know, a lot of times bounce passes are the best bet to go. Keep it on the floor. They're harder to reach. You know, instead of reaching down just a little bit, you got to go all the way down to the floor for a bounce pass.
Cody Fisher with the steal, and now into the front court, running into some pressure, and Alliance really getting physical with the guards now. They're trying to do a little half-court trap of their own. Down through the lane, yes! Alexa Phipps.
Good take by Phipps. That extends the lead to 9. Alliance seemed a little shaken right here.
And another steal. Phipps again. High lob down low. Will she have enough room? No. They'll have to reset the offense, but attacking still. High off the glass. They're Sharp with the offensive rebound, and it's an 11-point game, and timeout Nate Lanik and Alliance. There is danger here for Alliance of getting run out of the gym in this first half. Let's see if they do anything in the timeout to help adjust that. We'll be back.
Programming is provided in part by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska.
Escalator or stairs? It may seem like an easy choice, but the hard truth is the illness and disease that result from inactivity cost about $76 billion a year to treat. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska, we believe that cost is much too high, and not just in terms of money. So when it comes to keeping you healthy and keeping healthcare affordable, walking works. Your health, your choice.
The NSAA State High School Basketball Championships are underwritten in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. The Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. And by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska. The Blues are good for you.
South Sioux City 19, Alliance 8. We're about to begin the second quarter of the girls Class B state championship game.
Into the front court, here's Hooper, who's been quiet after picking up that second foul. She'll take it all the way in herself, but it rolls off the side of the iron. Went right across the back support of the iron and rolled off.
That's unfortunate for Alliance because that time they had no problem breaking the press. Well done. They just didn't get the points to go for it.
3, no. Rebound, foul. That's going to be on Autumn Boyer. That'll be the 4th team foul against the Cardinals. 7 already for Alliance here in the opening moments of the second period.
Here the pressure is all on the guards. They know they're staring right at this trapping 3/4 court press.
And they get it right out to their point person. Hooper will pull up for the jumper, but it will come off no good. Offensive board, another try, yes! Lindsey Briggs, who's had a good state tournament. She's scored above her average in each of the 2 games. Comes up big there. They needed that bucket just to break the scoring drought.
Yeah, first field goal for Alliance since midway through the first quarter. Snapped an 11-0 run for South Sioux City.
19-10 Cardinals. Down through the lane. Knudsen is fouled, and is that on Hooper? I think it is.
We just saw what happens when you get the ball in the lane. Anyway, pass, drive, get it in the paint, because number 35 is standing there, and odds are she's going to go for the ball.
Yep, had the arm, her arm right across both of the arms of Autumn Boyer, and that is the 3rd foul on the All-Stater.
Well, what do you do? I mean, it's still early in the second quarter. You pull her, sit her to halftime.
Well,
you have to, right? You're going to have her in the second half.
Yeah, she's going to sit now. Here's the problem, though. Sometimes if you wait too long, the game's already out of hand.
Right.
And South Sioux is not the kind of team that gives up leads easily. Their lead right now is 11.
That's the big debate that makes it really hard on Nate Lanik. The young head coach getting tested here in his first state championship game.
Ooh, pull-up jumper. That was way off the mark. Brooke Peters had the right idea, had the open shot, misfired on it. Right now, it's all about the guards, and the guards of South Sioux City have done the work, especially on defense. Traveling. Knudsen again. Caught the ball a little bit out of control, and that's never a good recipe. And she's called with her 2nd travel of the game.
Your body wants to go one way, your feet are going the other. Kind of a recipe for disaster.
Too much momentum, man. Lost it out, and again, another turnover. Alliance having all kinds of difficulties here in this first half.
Well, I can't really think of too many times, John, that Alliance has had the ball on their end of the court just trying to run a set offense.
No, it hasn't happened very often.
When they get across the timeline, they're putting up shots quickly.
12 first half turnovers already in the game for Alliance.
The ball is just coming loose so many times from free throw line to free throw line, and that's where the Cardinals are just licking their chops.
2nd foul on Autumn Boyer. Nicole Hanisch will check back in as you take a look there for a moment at Boyer. 23-10 South Sioux City.
Well, with 4:40 to go in the second period, there is no reason to panic for Alliance. There's still a lot of basketball to go. I know that 13-point deficit isn't, common territory for them.
Down through the lane, and there's a chance for Alliance to maybe get back a little of what has been taken away from them in the form of Jordan Hooper. This time guard penetrating in on center, and boom, foul. That's what's gotten Hooper in trouble. People driving in on her, and a lot of times you get a bigger player against a smaller player, and you'll see that happen where they'll get too aggressive on the swat. We've seen Hooper get into foul trouble. That time Alliance with a chance to do a little damage of their own. However, free throws, gotta make your free throws. Last year's game, you never forget it, 27 in a row to beat Crete.
I think they've missed more today already than they did in all of last year's championship game.
They have. They missed only one time.
And it was the final one.
And Emily Schroeder just made it a 15-point game. Alliance definitely with their backs against the wall, and another steal. This time it's Sarah Carruthers. Second quarters of the state tournament have been brutal for Alliance. Tie-up is called. Possession arrow belongs to the Cardinals. They were shut out yesterday by Pius. Did not have a good second quarter in the first game against Beatrice. At one point, I think, went about 11 or 12 minutes without a point against Beatrice, but still managed to win. You can't do that against South Sioux City.
That's crazy to hear in a season.
Yeah.
Back-to-back games? It's pretty wild.
Well, it
goes
does
to show
not matter much.
Anything can happen here at the state tournament.
Yeah, 12-minute field goal drought yesterday, or 2 days ago against Beatrice, and a scoreless second quarter against Pius. And against South Sioux City, forget it, ball kicked off the foot, out of bounds. Alliance thought they had the break. And the folks from the Panhandle are not happy with the officiating here in the first half, but a lot of it has to do with South Sioux City pressure.
Exactly.
And another travel. Wow, Michaela Knudsen just having all kinds of problems getting control of herself with the basketball.
Some of that can be jitters. Playing in a state championship game, you know, the bright lights, you're on TV.
Yeah,
what's at stake? You know, that's the bigger thing. Most important of all.
The perceived big pregame matchup between Knudsen and Hooper have not materialized because Hooper's in foul trouble and Knudsen has just 3 points and has turned the ball over 4 times.
Can't find her rhythm.
And there's another drive and a foul, and I think they're going to get Knudsen on this one. So that's how you get it done. Penetrate, try to get her into trouble.
I don't think she really agreed with that call. Regardless, Alliance is going to have to knock down their free throws. This is an easy way to get back in the ballgame, is by making them at the charity stripe.
Kayla Friesen, 5'8" senior, averages just 2 points a game, but makes that free throw there.
Yeah, Knudsen's going to sit down with her two fouls. I guess that's kind of a wash. If she's out of the game, Hooper's out of the game.
So both of the all-state players for these respective schools not on the floor. Second foul shot missed. 25-11. Wilkins, Cardwell. Another trade of South Sioux City, very deep bench. They play a lot of players traditionally. Everybody gets into the act. And that's going to be a reach-in foul on Nicole Hanisch. Foul starting to mount up for both teams. Alliance with 8. South Sioux City has just had number 8 chalked up on them. Nicole Hanisch with the personal foul. That is her first. It comes with 3 minutes and 4 seconds left to play here in the first half. South Sioux 25-11. What started off as a very quickly paced game has settled down a bit, and at times has gotten a little ugly.
Good job by Brooke Peters on that last possession. She was in the middle of that 2-3 zone that Alliance went to, so that gave her the task of trying to shut down Sharp. Did a good job just staying upright, created the miss, got the rebound, and is now capitalizing on the other end with the free throws.
Makes them both. 25-13, South Sioux City with the 12-point lead. We'll take this timeout and be back with the closing moments of the second quarter in the Class B final.
Programming on NET television is made possible in part by U.S. Bank. Across Nebraska, the nation, and everywhere in between, U.S. Bank provides financial, trust, and investment services to individuals, large corporations, and small businesses. Wherever you go, whether it's in person, on the phone, or on the World Wide Web, you'll find U.S. Bank. You'll find more than 50,000 U.S. bankers, home of the 5-star service guarantee.
The NSAA State High School Basketball Championships are underwritten in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, grants, and college planning services. And by U.S. Bank, measuring success through performance, pride, products, and people, backed by a 5-star service guarantee. U.S. Bank, member FDIC.
(25-13) South Sioux City leading Alliance. Cardinals feeling good right about now with 3:04 to go in the second quarter.
Pressure coming in the backcourt this time from Alliance. But Alexa Phipps will bring it into the front court. Oh, wide open. They had the pass there. Cardwell was looking for Sharp and overshot her, which you would think would be kind of hard to do. I mean, Sharp's one of the tallest players on the floor at 6'2".
Cardwell just gave the fastball, and Sharp might have been looking for the curveball.
Yeah, I think
again, it was that post-to-post pass.
I think she put down the 3 fingers for the changeup and got the 1 finger. From the corner, that's a 2.
Good job by
Big
Peters.
field goal there.
She's really stepping up her game with Hooper on the bench. 10-point ball game. Alliance, you know, the goal probably is to get it down to 5 or 6 in the halftime.
If they can survive the rest of this half without Jordan Hooper on the floor, then their chances look better. However, with Hooper not on the floor, Tristan Sharp can take advantage and just did right there. Ooh, that was real close to a carry and real close to over and back, and it is over and back. Boy, this has been a frustrating first half if you're an Alliance fan. Probably think a few more fouls should be called, but we've had 16 already.
Unhappy with the foul discrepancy.
At least early on, but right now it's even at 8.
Right, but it was just a sequence right there, and more importantly, who the fouls were called on.
Precisely.
Not only the foul situation, but also the questionable carry, the over and back. There's just other whistles being blown about things that the Bulldog fans don't really agree with.
Well, Tristan Sharp has just scored on back-to-back possessions, so again, right back down to the inside game without Hooper on the floor for the defending state champions. We have a travel.
We could talk about freshmen or sophomores all we want, John. We should really be talking about the freshmen. Sharp has been playing outstanding here for the Cardinals.
16 Alliance turnovers here in the first half. That's not totally unusual to hear an opponent have that kind of difficulty when you're playing South Sioux City, but thought maybe Alliance would be able to handle it with a bit more poise. Unfortunately, they can't. That time a turnover off South Sioux as Boyer lost it off her foot out of bounds. Good defense by the Bulldogs.
Well, every time there's a stoppage of play, South Sioux City seems to always be substituting somebody. This team is so deep. There are a few players on the roster that are considered quote-unquote reserves.
Not a lot of players who just sit on the bench.
Exactly.
They all get into the game.
It's got to make practice awfully fun up there at South Sioux City.
Well, let's face it, the style that they play, you have to have a deep bench. I mean, if you don't, then you're basically, you know, committing suicide because you're going to run into some foul situations. You're going to be aggressive on defense. You're going to have guards that are going to start racking up fouls, and you don't have the depth, and it's worthless. Plus, you also got to remember it's a tiring situation, too, because they're constantly up and down the floor, very active. Front end of the 1-and-1 missed, however.
You can't run a three-quarters court trap without players selling out. You know, that's the whole point of the thing, is to kind of get disruptive, be very aggressive, try to tip passes, try to run if you get the turnover. In order to do that, you have to be well-conditioned. Not only well-conditioned, be deep. And that's exactly what South Sioux City is.
Now, another bad break for Alliance as Audrey Van Tilburg, who is essentially replacing Jordan Hooper in the post, has just committed her 3rd personal foul. And right now, she can only bite her bottom lip. Sharp, though, misses the first free throw. And Van Tilburg is now out of the game.
That's your top 2 post players right there, arguably for Alliance.
Yep.
Van Tilburg definitely has to be in that discussion. So that leaves maybe a quote-unquote 3rd-line defender to get in the post and play defensively up against Tristan Sharp, the 6'2 freshman.
And that would be Brooke Peters. 29-15. Yeah, very close physical play here by both teams, as that is team foul number 10 against the Cardinals. And that's the first foul on Alexa Phipps, so to the free throw line. This is 2 free throws now for Lindsey Briggs. 6 of 10 today. That's a far cry from where they were last year in this game. Couple of big ones right there, and South Sioux City's lead is down to 12. Final minute of play here in the first half.
Alliance trying to come with a trap of their own, unable to get it.
three from the corner is good. Sarah Carruthers, who averages just a point a game, just drained a big three there and is back to a 15-point game. The Alliance nearly lost the ball on the baseline.
Good job by Carruthers, but more importantly, the reason she was able to get that shot off was Alexa Phipps just a quick ball fake. She faked like she was going to pass up top to the key. Instead went to the corner. Just enough daylight to get that three off.
And a foul on Carruthers. And that is her first. You look at it, though, despite all the fouls by South Sioux City, no one really in any danger, especially those players on the floor. First free throw is good by Lindsey Briggs. Nate Lanik in his first season with Alliance. There's the second, 32-19. South Sioux will likely hold for the last shot.
Alliance has now found their rhythm at the free throw line. Most of these makes coming recently. Now 8 of 13 from the charity stripe.
Up and under, no. Rebound Alliance. They might be able to get off the last shot down the floor. Here comes Peters. High lob, and nope, no one was down there. It was really a shot try and didn't have much on it. So we go to halftime of the Class B championship game. South Sioux City behind the aggressive play of their guards and the fact that they have been able to get Jordan Hooper out of the game with 3 fouls, leading it by 13 as we head down to the third member of our crew. Here's Dan.
All right, thanks, guys. Coach, obviously, Jordan Hooper on the bench with 3 fouls had to affect you guys in the first half.
Yeah, that's the way it rolls, though. You know, if you get 3 fouls, you're going to have to sit on the bench. The other girls are going to have to step up. We didn't do a very good job at defending the post, and we didn't knock down our free throws. So we got to change that at halftime.
How do you make up the 13 points in the second half?
Play extremely hard defense, get more rebounds, and make it tougher for them to score.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. We go to break. South Sioux City leads Alliance 32-19.
Programming provided by Nebraska Public Power District.
My job as an engineer for the Nebraska Public Power District is rewarding. My education and technical skills are used every day to help generate electricity for Nebraska. And I feel good because I believe that what I do maintains the state's quality of life.
NPPD is where I want to be.
Nebraska Public Power District. Always there when you need us. Together with your local public power utility.
Programming is provided in part by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska.
These cost about $50. This costs about $57,000. Choosing to use these can help you avoid this. And since inactivity is a better predictor of death than smoking, high blood pressure, and even heart disease, using these more and this less could save you more than money. A message that's good to know from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska.
Programming on NET television is provided in part by Education Quest Foundation. For over 20 years, Education Quest has provided free college planning resources to help students search colleges, search for scholarships, complete financial aid applications, and learn more about student loans. Education Quest is located in Kearney, Lincoln, and Omaha. Appointments available at 800-666-3721.
I hope you're enjoying this high school championship game, which is being broadcast on NET television throughout the entire state of Nebraska. High school championships have become one of the hallmarks of NET sports. People throughout Nebraska continually tell us that they're inspired by our sports coverage. From the Panhandle to the Missouri River, viewers like you enjoy watching the excitement unfold. Whether your game is basketball, football, baseball, volleyball, swimming, or rodeo, NET Sports is your home for Nebraska athletics. We'd like to bring these games into your home for many years, and in order to accomplish our goal, we need your help. The NET Foundation has established a sports endowment fund to ensure perpetual support for NET sports programming. Call me or email me to learn more about how your legacy can live through an endowment gift to NET television.
The girls Class B All-State team has been unveiled. 10-11 asking all the coaches to vote for who they think the top 5 players in the class are. Those votes have been compiled, and here's your list. Jordan Hooper, Kate Edwards, Jenna Isaacson, Allie Camphouse, Michaela Knutson. John, only one senior in that group.
That's pretty scary, and a couple of sophomores. Actually, 3 sophomores, I believe, or actually a couple of sophomores. 3 sophomores on that group. That's mighty impressive. There's a chance we could see 3 players all stating 3 years in a row. However, Class B talent, not bad. So there are other players that were definitely worthy of the honor this year. Another thing you notice of this group, all 5 of those players helped bring their teams to the state championship this year. And even though their average point totals aren't maybe as high as some of the other classes, gives you an idea that it's a more complete game, not just scoring, but also rebounds, steals, all the things that make for a quality all-state, all-around player.
John, I also want to give a shout-out to Jenna Isaacson of Holdridge. What a fantastic career. She had a career that ended short, wasn't able to be a part of the Dusters' run here to the state tournament. She tore her ACL late in the season. So tough to see her go down, but you know, all in all, looking back on it, I'm sure that she's going to really cherish what she was able to accomplish at Holdridge.
And of course, 2 of the players in this game here today, but neither one really factoring much into the scoring. The real story has been that Jordan Hooper of Alliance has been in foul trouble for most of the game. So we'll see how that factors into the second half. Sure, we'll see her, but how much of an impact will she have, and how quickly will Alliance go right back to her down 13? You got to believe if they have any chance in this game, she needs to stay out of trouble and needs to score at the same time. That sometimes can be hard to do.
Got to do it right here at the start of the third quarter. That's most important.
We'll be back. More of the Class B halftime activities right after this.
The NSAA State High School Basketball Championships are underwritten in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. The Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. And by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska. The Blues are good for you.
Explore the imperial cities of Prague, Vienna, and Budapest with NET. Between September 22nd and October 2nd, we'll take in the sights, sounds, and tastes of these native lands for so many classical musicians and artists. To find out more, call 800-634-6788 or visit our website, netnebraska.org/imperial cities.
On Nova, they're mean machines.
It is a machine to be reckoned with.
With minds of their own.
A vehicle that drives itself.
Nice. After years getting their robots to the starting line.
Robots are my life. I just cut sleep out. These are the challenges I live for.
Do any have the brains to beat the course?
Low in the China shop.
I don't think I can do it with this car. I can't keep up with it.
It was entirely out of our hands.
The Great Robot Race on Nova.
Tuesday night at 7 Central Time on NET1.
Welcome back to the Devaney Center, joined by Nebraska Governor Dave Heineman. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate you being in attendance today.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. It's always fun to watch the girls and boys state basketball tournament. You're seeing some great basketball today.
Playing it neutral with the Nebraska sweatshirt, I respect that, but what's it like to come out here and just see all the communities in one spot?
I love to see the community support, and this girls basketball tournament gets better every year. The caliber of girls in this state is just extraordinary, and it's improving.
What does it say about the state of Nebraska with the turnouts we've had this weekend?
Well, I think they love supporting their community. They're out here in force. I talked to Connie Yori. She's really impressed with the talent she's seeing out here. Maybe she can get 1 or 2 of them to come to the University of Nebraska.
All right, thanks very much for stopping in with us. Enjoy the rest of the games. Right now, we'll send it back to John to get the stats from the first half.
All right, thanks a lot, Dan. Thank you, Governor. As we take a look at the first half numbers, and one number that is not on there, but it is somewhat indicative when you look at the turnover, 16 turnovers, 13 steals in the first half by South Sioux City, 1 for Alliance. So of those 16 turnovers, 13 of them have been literally swiped out of the hands of Alliance players. Leading scorer is Tristan Sharp, the freshman for South Sioux, with 10 points. Halftime here at the Devaney Center. It's South Sioux City 32, Alliance 19.
Rising from acres of Midwestern farm fields, a revolution is coming. A new era of energy independence from foreign oil. It's called soy biodiesel. Made with soybean oil, this fuel is a sustainable, renewable resource. America, it's time for an oil change. Soy biodiesel, grown in the Midwest.
The NSAA State High School Basketball Championships are underwritten in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, grants, and college planning services. And by U.S. Bank, measuring success through performance, pride, products, and people, backed by a 5-star service guarantee. U.S. Bank, member FDIC.
Get ready for the Osmonds! Celebrating 50 years of entertainment. Don't miss the Osmonds reunion concert.
Coming soon to NET1.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alexa Whitstrom.
Welcome back to the Bob Devaney Sports Center, joined by South Sioux City head coach Kelly Flynn. And coach, you got to be happy with where you're sitting right now.
Yeah, we're really happy with that first half. We wanted to come out and play, really good defense, and I think we did that. We wanted to knock down some shots, and several girls have stepped up. Sarah Crothers just hit a big 3 there right before the half. We wanted to try to go at Jordan Hooper if we could, and we've done a nice job of that so far the first half. So we always talk about nothing being less important than the score at halftime, but we're happy to be up right now, but we want to be up at the end of the game as well.
Is that the plan in the second half? Go at Hooper and expect the guards to continue that great play?
Well, you definitely want to play well. We said, if Hooper's in there, we kind of want to try to go a little bit high, take her out a little bit, and let our other bigs try to score inside, because she's a great shot blocker and a great player.
All right, thank you. Your Cardinals lead 32-19. We'll take a quick break and be back for the second half.
Thank you.
Programming provided by Nebraska Public Power District.
My job with Nebraska Public Power District takes me to new heights, offers me challenging experiences. Like me, the utility cares about Nebraska. I go home at night knowing that what I do makes a difference. To put it simply, I am where I want to be.
Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us. Together with your local public power utility.
The NSAA State High School Basketball Championships are underwritten in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. The Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. And by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska. The Blues are good for you.
This TV is 10 years old, and the picture still looks great.
But if you watch TV using an antenna, you might need to make some changes.
That's right. In February 2009, America is improving the way it broadcasts television.
The new system looks great, but to watch it on your old TV, you're going to need to buy a converter box.
Fortunately, you can get a coupon to help you pay for the box.
And your favorite PBS shows will look better than ever.
Halftime here, the Class B championship game. South Sioux City with a 13-point edge over Alliance. Kevin Suits to John Bishop. It's been all South Sioux here in the first half. It didn't start out that way, though.
No, it didn't, and you saw a couple of the biggest players as we take a look at some of the first half highlights. You've got Van Tilburg, and coming up, you've got Jordan Hooper. But unfortunately, both those players with 3 fouls, because that was really the highlight of their day so far. It's been guard play for South Sioux.
Ever since the both players got in foul trouble here, South Sioux going down low. Autumn Boyer, Tristan Sharp rather, get 10 points. Then most importantly for South Sioux City, the defense leading to offense.
And that has been the difference. You talk about it, and I've heard so many coaches say over the years, guard play, you hear defense wins championships. You hear that in football a lot. Well, guard play wins basketball championships, and I think we're seeing that in an example, at least in the first half today.
I think the two coincide because a lot of the defense at this level is in the guards, especially when you're South Sioux City. You're running a 3/4 court trap. Starts up front. Who's up front? It's those guards. You're able to have them be very aggressive, active hands. They can stay out of foul trouble. You're sitting pretty. That's where South Sioux City is right now.
And of course, these great pictures being brought to you by our talented production crew, and this is kind of a first for us here this year at the Girls State and also next week at the Boys State tournament. First ever tournaments broadcast in high definition on NET Sports, and we're also very happy to be joined by the NET production crew who is helping us out this year, along with our regular 1011 KOLN KGIN sports crew who have brought us the games for many, many years. In fact, we're coming up on the 50th anniversary of the very first televised state tournaments on 1011, and we thank NET for helping in this year as well, bringing us these great pictures. So it's great to be working together on this project as we bring all of the excitement of girls state basketball and next week boys state basketball. Great tournaments to look forward to next week as well.
Absolutely. The brackets have been released for the boys state tournament. Looking at them top to bottom, it's a very, very talented field this year. I like Class A. It's a wide open race if you ask me in Class A. You could pretty much single out 5 or 6 teams that have a legit shot at winning the Class A championship. Let's not forget about the small schools. D1 and D2 basketball this year, in my opinion, in boys, has been the best it's been in a long, long time.
Well, we'll see all of those gentlemen next week on Championship Saturday, right back here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. And by the way, if you weren't here this weekend for Girls State, if you're coming for next weekend's Boys State, some changes you'll want to remember for both Thursday and Friday, and that is times have been moved back a little bit, or actually moved up in the day. So the early games actually start at 9 o'clock, and the sessions are 2 games apiece, and there's 3 sessions per day to allow for some of that overcrowding we saw last year to kind of alleviate. Worked really well for the girls tournament this year. We hope for more of the same of the boys, and of course the third place games as well, as we are underway here in the second half. And a good first start. Krista McDonald with the first 2, and Alliance is on the board.
John, the timing changes in the way those games are formatted. I love it. It gives more breaks, especially for the media folks, more breaks throughout the day. But honestly, it gives everybody a chance to catch their breath throughout the day, so it's not just basketball from start to finish. You're able to get away, get a bite to eat, be back for more.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with alleviating the overcrowding that we saw at the 2 high schools, Southwest and North Star, last year. It seemed to work for the girls. We'll see if it works for the boys, kind of breaking up the day just a little bit and clearing fans out so other fans can get in. Because I was at North Star last year, and there were several hundred people waiting outside to get in to see their team, and they couldn't.
Heard of absolutely no fans being turned away with this new format. That was the problem last year. There were a handful of people, as you witnessed, John, that weren't even able to get in to see the game they were standing in line for quite some time. No problem with the new format.
Double dribble called on South Sioux, so kind of a slow start here for the Cardinals here in the second half. Alliance has already put a couple on the board, and let's see what they can do on this possession. By the way, Jordan Hooper back out on the floor. Number 35 just about had the basketball, but the pass was even too tall for her. And now Sharp starts the break down the floor, fouled. And going to the line will be Autumn Boyer.
How about the pass up ahead by Sharp? Got the ball at midcourt, looked forward. Sure enough, they're going to go to the line for a chance to put 2 more on the board.
Well, that's another thing that's a hallmark of South Sioux City. You got to be able to get those passes down the floor. They like to press the action as much as possible. And in this case, it didn't set up the basket, but it set up Boyer at the free throw line, and she missed the first. That foul was on Lindsey Briggs. That's her first foul of the second half against Alliance. She goes 1 for 2.
You're seeing Alliance be a lot more patient when trying to break that trap.
There's a floater in the lane, but she doesn't get the friendly roll. Ball still tapped around, and South Sioux City comes away with it. Not the kind of day that Jordan Hooper was hoping for Alliance. A lot of hands in there, and it was last touched by the Bulldogs. 47-game win streak. Defending Class B champions. Beat Crete in this game a year ago.
A game that was never really close. Alliance took an early lead and just coasted in the second half.
And on the strength of free throws, 27 of 28 from the line, ended up beating a team in Crete that a lot of folks thought maybe was the superior team athletically.
Right.
That time, Van Tilburg just went too far underneath the basket. She was basically rejected by the bottom of the glass. 33-21, South Sioux City with the 12-point lead and the basketball. Thought about a pass, thought about a
get the
shot.
ball inside the Knutson.
And there she is, travel. Oh, for a second, I heard that whistle blow, and I thought we're going to have foul number 4 on Hooper, but instead, and you can, Kelly Flynn, you didn't see it on camera there, but Flynn was signaling that it should have been a foul.
There were a lot of people across the way that thought it should have been a foul. In fact, the players started to line up as if it was going to be a free throw situation. Good thing for Alliance that that was not a foul, because it would have been on Hooper, her 4th.
I think we had a disagreement between the officials. The official behind the basket, I believe, may have thought it was a foul, but the travel came from the other side. That is a huge break for Alliance. Not necessarily saying the call was good or bad, just saying it wasn't made. Long shot by Hooper. That one was blocked, but Hooper there to clean it up. Missed again, tie up, and possession to South Sioux. You've got Hooper, and you've got, don't forget, Van Tilburg, 40 for Alliance, who also playing with 3 fouls here to start this second half.
And the thing is, both those ladies play down low, so Kelly Flynn probably said at halftime, every time we touch the ball and we're in the half-court set, it has to get into the block.
Well, here we go, South Sioux. Still looking for their first field goal here in the second half. There's the high lob.
See, Hooper was right there. Could have gone up for the block. Instead, she backed off, didn't even leave the ground. Lucky for her, the shot was missed. She was able to get the rebound.
Down low, and that shot was altered because she was off balance. 3 from the outside is no. Van Tilburg blocked by Sharp, gets the ball back. Another opportunity. Boy, they had their shots there.
Got 3 or 4 tries at a bucket, and fans wanted a foul on that last attempt.
And a turnover. Player went one way. Alexa Phipps' pass went the other. And a timeout taken here by Kelly Flynn with 4:56 left. I believe it is a full timeout. It is. We'll take break as well. 33-21, South Sioux City leads Alliance.
Hi, I'm Matt Davison, and I drive Nebraska's highways almost every day. Please use caution when driving in winter weather, and watch for highway workers as they clear the roads. Slow down when you meet a snowplow, and don't brake suddenly if you're traveling in front of one. They can't stop as quickly as a car or pickup. If you're gonna head out in winter weather, check out the Nebraska Travel Information website at 511nebraska.org, or just dial them at 511. Don't take any chances this year. If there's ice and snow, take it slow.
Funding is provided in part by the Dr. Thomas and Dorothy Hallstrom Fund, created to support broadcasting of the Nebraska State High School basketball tournament.
(33-21), South Sioux City leading Alliance midway through the third quarter here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. According to the scoreboard, we're still in the second.
Yeah, it is. It is still the second quarter.
We had some problems with the scoreboard in the previous game. The clock stopped working.
Turnover and another near turnover. It's going to stay with South Sioux City. A lot of action, bodies flying on the floor. No foul called, though. And here come the Cardinals. 23-1 this season. As usual, South Sioux City played a lot of out-of-state opponents. Now, of course, in South Sioux, you're right across from Iowa, so you'll see a lot of the Iowa schools, but also schools from South Dakota on their calendar, and Class A schools as well. In fact, they are the only team to have beaten Class A favorite Lincoln Southeast this year.
A 2-point victory up at South Sioux. What a win that might have been the big turning point for them. Not that they questioned themselves prior to, but when you beat the front runner in Class A, it's got to tell you something.
Michaela Knudsen, just her 5th point of the afternoon. She averages 14, the All-Stater does. There's a block, but that's a foul, and that's going to be on Knudsen, I believe. And if that is her 3rd, so things may have just gotten a little more interesting here for South Sioux City.
Well, John, you talked about how South Sioux City goes outside of the state to draw some opponents. Same goes for Alliance. They played a pair of teams from Wyoming and 2 also from South Dakota.
Now, granted, proximity does have a lot to do with that, but also it's a sparser populated area of the state. Alliance does not have a lot of either Class A or B opposition, even sometimes Class C1 opposition to choose from. So they'll see a lot of the same teams through the course of the season, whether it be through regular season or conference play. Teams like Gering, they saw a couple 3 times. Sydney, they played 4 times when you count the districts. And that has always been considered a weakness. And when the teams advance from the west, sometimes as we get a foul, driving through the lane went Nicole Hanisch. But the perception is because the East is more populated, there is a perception of better basketball here because you have better and more competition. And so sometimes those Western teams, and Alliance was one of them last year, really not a lot was expected of them when they got here, even though they had a Jordan Hooper, and they proved everyone wrong.
That's why it helps to have a Jordan Hooper out in western Nebraska, because it draws so much more attention to the Panhandle. A lot of times those teams fly under the radar.
Right. And those players, despite how good they might also be, well, okay, so they're not playing the best competition, so maybe they're really not that good. Well, as we've seen, Jordan Hooper is really a good player.
That was part of the knock on Alliance last year. Why a lot of people did not give them a shot against Crete is because...
she went crashing to the floor, did Hooper. She's okay, though. Wow, that looked like it had the potential for disaster, because I thought maybe her ankle to... let's see how this happened. I think she just she was losing her feet. But I thought for a moment she could have turned an ankle underneath, and that could have been devastating.
The way those feet kind of spun with the floor there, you catch just enough of the sole of that shoe to stick on the turf. That is easily a turned ankle.
Emily Schrader. And it's up to a 15-point game. South Sioux City with the lead here.
Here's a possession where you really need to get the ball inside to Hooper, but South Sioux City doing a good job making sure that does not happen.
Offensive rebound and the putback, and count the basket. Brooke Peters. Nice play by Peters. Foul is on Fusher, who now goes over to have a word with head coach Kelly Flynn. We were talking about the scheduling earlier. One thing South Sioux did not do this year, and it's something they have done over the course of the last 12, 13 years during this reign of dominance, if you will, that they've played a lot of tournaments in faraway places. They've gone to California before. They've gone to a lot of places and played a lot of the best competition in the country. They did not do that this year. Alliance basketball after the exchange of possession.
Well, South Sioux City had plenty on their plate with their schedule as it was, especially that Tournament of Champions they hosted midway through the season that brought in Bellevue East and Lincoln Southeast. And in fact, I remember when Dan Hedman came, he went up to South Sioux City. The one comment he had for me when he got up there, every driveway here has a basketball hoop in
it. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Now you know why they've been so good. Oh, nearly saved it off the legs. Fusher tried to make the heroic play. Almost got it, but still, South Sioux City keeps the basketball.
Alliance just seems to not be able to catch a break. A lot of loose balls are going South Sioux City's way.
Catch a break and maybe catch a breath, too. Constant pressure put on. South Sioux City does not allow many cheapies. 38-26, a look down low, sharp. Look at that ball movement.
Excellent around the perimeter, looking for the foul inside. No foul, good bucket though.
Autumn Boyer with the hard 2. Highly contested by Alliance, and the lead is back up to 14. Jasmine Clark has it knocked out of her hands, but Alliance will keep the possession. Audrey Van Tilburg is back in, and for the first time, now we saw it a little bit at the start of the half, but Van Tilburg and Hooper have not been out on the floor together much because both have been in foul trouble. Pull-up jumper, no. Hooper nearly got the rebound, but tips it out to a teammate. Open 3 from the corner, Van Tilburg, no.
Van Tilburg just struggling to find the touch from the floor today, 1 of 4. That was her first 3-point attempt.
40-26, South Sioux City here. 1:35 left to play in the third period. Pass was high, but Sharp's height was able to save it for the moment. And a good play on the floor by Jasmine Clark to get it for Alliance.
Alliance needs to start cashing in on some of these opportunities.
3. Good!
That's cashing in.
Clark. Alliance does not often shoot a lot of threes. They did put up 19 of them against Beatrice, but that was a big one as far as a potential momentum changer here for Alliance.
Their first made basket from beyond the arc today, and it cuts the deficit down to 11. They're going to get the ball back here, and maybe it can go to single digits. That's exactly what I think Nate Lanik wants heading into the fourth quarter.
We'll see Emily Schroeder come back in. Sharp will depart. There's Emily Schroeder, 5'11" junior. And you take a look at the freshman, Tristan Sharp.
That's a great exchange for Kelly Flynn. There's no drop off there. Both of those centers are equally talented. So just when Jordan Hooper thinks she's going to get a break down there, she doesn't.
Officials allowing a lot more physical play here in the second half. Van Tilburg is open, but she missed the jump shot. And somehow the ball comes down in the hands of Jasmine Clark, who just flat took it away for 2.
There's a lot of blue jerseys there on the weak side of the board. And the smallest one of them all, Jasmine Clark, gets it and scores.
Alliance within 9 now. Waiting 22 seconds here of the period, all the way through the lane. Shot, no! Pulled down by Alliance. They want to run. Try to turn the tables, 15, but she lost it on the dribble. Tie-up is called. South Sioux City will get the possession. Oh, boy.
Still a solid stretch for Alliance. It's down to 9.
And Michaela Knudsen's going to come in for this final stretch here in the third quarter.
See, if I'm Nate Lanik at this point in time, I'm getting Jordan Hooper out of the ballgame and Van Tilburg as well. I know there's only 13.2 seconds to go, so why risk a foul at this point in time? That could be a fourth, and then she's got to sit part of the fourth quarter.
That's a good point.
Because I think South Sioux's going to go inside here.
Well, let's see if they do. Time is running. Give and go through the lane. No. Offensive board. No. And that's going to end the period. Well, Alliance will get away with that one, and they will get the basketball to start the fourth quarter of the Class B Championship, live from Lincoln and the Bob Devaney Sports Center.
The NSAA State High School Basketball Championships are underwritten in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, grants, and college planning services. And by U.S. Bank, measuring success through performance, pride, products, and people, backed by a 5-star service guarantee. U.S. Bank, member FDIC.
A good cowboy can't go to bed at night if his cows are hungry. You spend all of your life taking care of animals.
These are the stories that made Nebraska the beef state. Coming this June on NET1 and NET HD.
Minutes to determine a Class B champion. It's either South Sioux City or Jordan Hooper and Alliance. Hooper and the Bulldogs down by 9, but they have the momentum on their side heading into the fourth and final stanza.
Just 6 points for Hooper. She was shut out in that quarter, but more importantly for Alliance, they're still in this game, and she still has the 3 fouls. She didn't pick up any more. Now through the lane, and finally gets one to fall. She's taken some shots, but she has not scored until then.
That's what she can do. She can just turn it on like that. We saw it yesterday in the semifinal against Pius, and it was right at about this time that she did it.
Down through the lane, Knudsen scores.
Hooper had to back off there because of the foul situation, and Knudsen had excellent position to easily get the window.
Back to a 9-point game. Oh, just about traveled with it as Clark wasn't sure what to do with it. This will be for 2, and it's good. Lindsey Briggs.
The offense ramping up here as of late. We saw a flurry of buckets late in the third, carrying over now to the fourth.
Not as much motion on this possession, and that cost her another travel. That time, Michaela Knudsen did not know what to do with the ball, and she was just kind of standing there. You don't see that very often where someone's just standing at the free throw line, and then once she decided to move, another travel. I think that's her 4th of the game.
But this time, though, Knudsen picked her head up, and she shook it, saying, it's okay, I know it was my bad, it won't happen again.
Oh, Hooper nearly made a bad pass, but her teammate, Brooke Peters, saved her. 42-35. Hasn't been this close for a while. High lob, but an errant throw. Looking for Hooper, high block, and she went the one way, the ball went the other.
Got Sharp back in the ball game for South Sioux City. She leads all scorers with 10.
Again, entry pass, Sharp. A little too strong on the shot, and the ball is saved. A great play falling to the floor by Knudsen.
They don't say over and back because an Alliance player touched it in that scrum down in the lane.
Fisher looks inside, and that's going to be a reach and foul. Brooke Peters. What a difference here in the second half. We talked about how both teams got into the bonus relatively early in the first half. That's just the 3rd foul for Alliance with 5:58 to play. South Sioux City with just 2, so the officials are letting these 2 teams play it out here in this second half. In and out.
John Nate Lanik has his work cut out for him, not just X's and O's of the game, but monitoring the foul situation.
Oh, and there's a big hack. That was Alliance pushing the ball down the floor, and it was either going to be an easy 2 or Tristan Sharp was going to commit the foul, and she did as we look at it again.
Sharp closing in, just out of position. That's about the best she can do.
Her 2nd, team's 3rd. Peters, though, misses the front end of the 1-and-1, and the thing that basically won them the state championship last year has hurt this year.
Yeah. Alliance on the day, 12 of 18 from the stripe.
Which overall isn't that bad, but
the bar's just so high.
Yes, the bar was set very, very high. Timeout on the floor. It's a 6-point game.
Programming provided by Nebraska Public Power District.
My job as an engineer for the Nebraska Public Power District is rewarding. My education and technical skills are used every day to help generate electricity for Nebraskans. And I feel good because I believe that what I do maintains the state's quality of life. NPPD is where I want to be.
Nebraska Public Power District. Always there when you need us. Together with your local public power utility.
Rising from acres of Midwestern farm fields, a revolution is coming. A new era of energy independence from foreign oil. It's called soy biodiesel. America, it's time for an oil change. Soy biodiesel, grown in the Midwest.
It hasn't been this close since under a minute to go in the first quarter. 6-point margin. South Sioux City leading Alliance, 5:48 to play.
Again, pressure coming in the backcourt. Now Alliance kind of turning the tables on South Sioux City. And that was last touch by Knudsen. Great play by Brooke Peters. She was over there, and Knudsen, the officials say, was the last one to get her hands on it. So a turnover against the Cardinals. And for Alliance, you've got to feel a little bit redeemed after what happened in the first half.
The ball starting to bounce their way.
Yeah, but not that time. That was an errant pass. And South Sioux, the aggression has kind of been taken out of the Cardinals. That basket will not count. Foul is on the floor. And that will mean free throws. Or I'm sorry, no free throws. No free throws. Keep thinking we're in the bonus, but we're not. Alliance just fourth team foul. Here's the inbound, down and up. No, Knudsen there to put it back and in.
Smart play by Knudsen. The minute she got that rebound, she knew she was going to go straight back up with it.
9 points for Knudsen, and the lead is 8. Hooper, too strong off the glass. For the most part, she has not had a very friendly day off the rim. She's just 3 out of 10. 4 out of 10?
3 of 10, a total of 8 points, along with 8 rebounds.
But on the other side, Alexa Phipps gets a friendly roll, and just like that, a game that was 6 is back up to 10 with 4:45 to play. If you're Alliance right now, you need to get the ball into her hands right there. Jordan Hooper instead, a 3, and it's good! Krista McDonald.
That'll work. McDonald with delivering just the second three-pointer for Alliance on the afternoon.
Give and go, nearly lost it, but South Sioux will keep it. Boyer into the front court.
Alliance needs to get some stops here, but I have to guess they're going to have to come away from the basket. If it gets down low, odds are it's going to result in a foul.
Knudsen well out from beyond the blocks. A clock-killing possession right now for South Sioux City, leading by 7. Entry to Schroeder. And we got over the back, I think, if that is on Knudsen, that is her 4th. It is.
Kelly Flynn none too happy with that call.
So how ironic is this? All game long, we've been talking about how Hooper and Van Tilburg have been stuck on 3 fouls. It's Knudsen, the first player to reach 4, and she's going to go to the bench to keep her from fouling out here with 3:53 to play in the basketball game, and the Cardinals leading by 7.
South Sioux City is going to try to dare Alliance to score from outside, I have to figure.
And now Hooper will take it up and in.
That's not easy, splitting those 2 defenders.
And it's down to a 5-point game. Alliance 47-game win streak on the line, and they're fighting back. Down through the lane, no. And South Sioux saves the possession. Fisher looks down low. Here comes Sharp, backs her way in. And all of a sudden, Kristen Sharp has not found her shot.
She's getting looks. Plenty of attempts for Sharp, but they're just not dropping.
In and out. And Hooper follows the shot. How often do you see a big guy do that? Follow a shot down the baseline and come up with a loose chain.
A lot of times that area of the floor isn't that wide open to do that.
3 on the way. It's good! Krista McDonald with her 2nd tray of the period, and it's a 2-point game. Timeout on the floor. 2:47 left, and Alliance is charging back, and we're going to have one heck of a finish.
Hi, I'm Matt Davison, and I drive Nebraska's highways almost every day. Please use caution when driving in winter weather, and watch for highway workers as they clear the roads. Slow down when you meet a snowplow, and don't brake suddenly if you're traveling in front of one. They can't stop as quickly as a car or pickup. If you're going to head out in winter weather, check out the Nebraska Travel Information website at 511nebraska.org, or just dial them at 511. Don't take any chances this year. If there's ice and snow, take it slow.
Programming on NET television is made possible in part by U.S. Bank, fulfilling their commitment to serve customers wherever they are on their terms, providing a full range of banking services at 57 branch offices and more than 100 ATMs located conveniently across Nebraska. Wherever you go, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, you'll find us.
Krista McDonald's back-to-back threes cuts the South Sioux City lead down to 2. We've got a doozy with 2:47 to go in the Class B championship game.
She averages just 3 points a game, and coming into today had just scored 3 points in the entire tournament. She's got 6 here in the quarter, 8 for the game. And there's a steal. This would tie it, and a foul. What has happened here in the second half? All of a sudden, we've been talking about guard play, guard play, guard play, and guess what? Alliance's guards have answered the bell.
It's the other guards. They've been silent for the entire game, basically. It's been all about Van Tilburg and Hooper and Briggs, and Peters getting it done, but now all of a sudden, nice tandem between Clark and McDonald, lifting Alliance. This free throw could be pretty big here. Get it down to 1.
She missed the first and missed the second. Wow, how ironic would that be if it was missed free throws that ended up costing Alliance this year. However, it is a 2-point game.
We still have a lot of basketball to play.
Oh, nice move between defenders. Got her shot and a huge block from Hooper.
We haven't been able to see much of that today because of the foul situation, but if she's going to be effective down low, yeah, there's no doubt Hooper's going to crank it up here in the final 2:15.
I think she just turned the wick up just a little bit, and she can afford to now. This is crunch time. Van Tilburg just picked up her 4th for Alliance.
This is the point in the game, though. You keep them in. There's no doubt you don't sit. There's 2:15. Well, shows what I know.
Well, you're replacing Van Tilburg, a 5'11 senior, with Brooke Peters, a 5'11 senior, so you're not losing a whole lot in that exchange. At least Coach Nate Lanik now has a little bit of flexibility in substituting right now with 2:05 left.
South Sioux City, their guards getting harassed on the perimeter, so it's Alliance's defense applying a lot of pressure.
Oh, there's a tough up and over by Michaela Knutson over the top of Hooper. A big bucket for South Sioux City.
Hooper was right on her hip, and she went up with a little hook.
But Hooper over the top. Well, that battle we've been telling you about, we thought was going to develop, and a travel is called, and Alliance gets the possession, down by just 2.
A chance to tie or take the lead, as the tide has certainly shifted here over the past 3 or 4 minutes in the 4th quarter. Now this is where Alliance can be very patient and go for the shot they want. There is no reason to force anything.
Now South Sioux wants to trap at the corner. Tie-up is called. South Sioux City basketball.
Peters wanted a foul on that sequence.
Nice alert play by Nicole Hanisch. And a timeout will be taken. 30-second timeout. We'll take a look at the game reset for you here. Now on that alternating possession, South Sioux City will get the basketball. So the possession arrow will flip back to Alliance as soon as we inbound with 1:31 to go. South Sioux City has 3 timeouts left. Alliance has 4. Neither team in the bonus right now, Kevin. 5 fouls apiece. And of course, we've documented the players who have been in foul trouble. Knutson on the floor for South Sioux has 4. And Van Tilburg for Alliance not on the floor currently with 4. She's still on the bench.
And I'm really surprised right now for South Sioux City that neither Tristan Sharp or Emily Schroeder are not on the floor. I understand Sharp's been a little cold here in the second half, but I figured at least one would be out there just to try to get the ball down low, draw Hooper's attention, and hopefully that frees up the guards on the perimeter.
Well, we'll see what South Sioux City decides to do offensively here. They lead the game. There's 1.5 minutes to go. You got to believe there's going to be some clock burning going on here. No shot clock, of course, in high school basketball.
Well, Kelly Flynn's been in this position several times before, so I'm sure there's a sense of calm with South Sioux City out
down through the lane, couldn't get the shot to go, and now with under 1 minute to go, here comes Alliance with a chance to tie. Oh, that was a near travel. How that didn't get called, wow, that was close. For the tie, Jasmine Clark has just brought us back to even with 43 seconds left. Right in, Knutson has it taken away, and that's going to be a foul.
You know, even though Knutson has not shot very well from the floor today, she didn't hesitate one bit at going up with that. Something at least is going to happen. You have a few bodies down there in case you miss to potentially get the offensive rebound. You get the foul. You're at the line with the chance to take the lead.
That foul, by the way, was on Brooke Peters, her third. These are 2 foul shots, and the first one is good. Michaela Knutson hasn't been the kind of all-state day she was hoping for, yet she still has a double-double of 12 points and 10 rebounds. She's had a number of turnovers, but still, these are huge foul shots. She's got one. And not the second. So now if you're Alliance, you got to believe you play for the final shot, but there's still a lot of time. What does South Sioux City do? They've got a foul to give.
You just D up.
Ball loose on the floor. They pressed for it. Still loose. Who's going to come over that tie up? Alliance basketball.
1, 2, 3, 4 bodies on the floor. That's state championship basketball for you. In crunch time, everybody getting after the ball.
And so that'll bring Van Tilburg in off the bench. 22.6 seconds left. Alliance can take the lead, potentially win the game.
Watch Jordan Hooper look for number 35. She's just at the right elbow.
But the ball off the hands of McDonald. And what's the call going to be? Foul. No foul. Timeout. Timeout, South Sioux City. So she got the ball and was able to get a timeout. I thought maybe we would get a reach-in call. But instead, they signal for the timeout, and South Sioux City had a couple, so there's one left. So it's a timeout, not a foul. It will be Cardinal basketball, leading by 1. So Alliance now in a position where they have to foul, and the next one puts South Sioux City at the line for 1-1.
Turnovers have been the Achilles heel for Alliance the entire game, and in crunch time with the ball, chance to take the lead, they turn the ball over.
Were you surprised that they attacked early in the possession, or at least looked like, and I'm talking about before that last exchange when there was 35 seconds left, it looked like they were willing to attack early instead of play late and go for a later shot.
I figure you get it across the timeline, you let everything kind of unfold, isolate Hooper, get her the basketball. But I understand the urgency because, you know, when South Sioux City is flying at you with that trapping zone that can kind of rattle the brain a little bit, if you're in the moment, go with it. And that's what happened in that point in time.
So here we go. South Sioux City leads by 1 with the basketball. 19.3 seconds left. Inbound, tipped away. No, off the hands of Alliance. Wow, that was close. Boyer really never looked like she had a chance at getting that ball.
For a second, I thought Brooke Peters was going to come away with the basketball.
And there's the inbound. Knutson fouled.
She was in dangerous territory there, too, in the coffin corner. But obviously, the first thing Alliance wants to do is foul. Stops the clock.
Michaela Knutson, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. Alliance will use one of their timeouts. They've got 3 remaining now. But Knutson to the free throw line. She cannot put the game out of reach in terms of one possession, but she can determine what kind of possession it will take to either tie or win.
South Sioux City has a team shooting 68% from the line. Now if Knutson misses the second one, odds are Alliance is going to get the rebound because Jordan Hooper is going to be down there. I mean, Hooper on the day has 12 rebounds. She pulls down the board. You're going to have to turn and go.
Now you've got 3 timeouts remaining. If that scenario takes place, do you call the timeout then?
I say get it to half court and call it. But then again, getting to half court has been a problem for Alliance, so you might be better off. If you want to play it safe, you just go ahead, get the board, call the tee, set something up. However, if you want to roll the dice and go with the moment, just take it down the floor, see what happens.
Michaela Knutson, the All-Stater, a 1-1. She'll get the second. Now, it's a 2-point game.
An All-Stater for a reason. It's an All-State moment right here for Michaela Knutson.
A 3-point game. They get it in, 14 seconds left. They need a three. Into the front court. Looking, McDonald, 8 seconds left. Looking, contested three, off no good. Rebound South Sioux, foul with 3.7 seconds left. And if the Cardinals can make the first one, they may have sealed the championship. South Sioux City.
10 state championships, staring at an 11th.
Very close now. They can almost taste it. Cody Fisher, 1-1. She got it. And that may have sealed it. If you're South Sioux, you back off. She's got the second. 2 seconds left. That's it. Ball game over. The Cardinals are back on top in Class B.
You knew they'd return. When would it be? 2008 is the year. The 11th state title. That's a Nebraska lead.
Final score, South Sioux City 53, Alliance 48. And we'll be back with the medal presentations in just a moment.
Take to the highway.
An old friend returns with a guitar and a handful of songs.
It's good to get back to basics.
That's all he needs to make us happy. Look for James Taylor One-Man Band on Great Performances.
Coming soon to NET1.
The South Sioux City Cardinals, after a couple of years off, back on championship Saturday's winner's circle. 53-48 the final score. Let's now go back again courtside for the introduction of our
They will be assisted by U.S. Bank representative Jay Ross. First, here are the awards for the 2008 Class B runner-up from Alliance High School. Will head coach Nate Lonick and your assistant step toward the middle of the court to present the silver medals to each member of your team. Number 3, Cody Fisher. Number 23, Alexa Phipps. Number 32, Michaela Knudsen. Number 35, Autumn Boyer. Number 51, Tristan Sharp. And now, all of you are welcome to receive the state championship trophy. Congratulations to the Cardinals of South Sioux City High School, the 2008 Class B state basketball champions.
A state record 11th big trophy that South Sioux City gets to take home. And in a departure from past years, they actually get to enjoy it while there's still some daylight. Usually this game is the last game of the night, and they're driving home, or you're at least waiting until the next day to drive home with that trophy, but a little bit of time to celebrate on this championship Saturday. Well, for Alliance, what a great string. 47 wins in a row. Last year's state champions. Their head coach now with Dan Hedman. Dan.
Hey, here with Nate Lonick, head coach of Alliance, and Coach, tearful huddle there at the end of the game. What do you tell the girls?
Believe, and you know, we knew what we had to do and come down and get a basket if we could, and unfortunately it didn't happen, and we had to foul, and the young lady went down and knocked down the 2 free throws, and that kind of did it for us.
With that winning streak you had, though, you knew your girls weren't going to give up. They brought it all the way back to even. What's that say?
So proud of them. Couldn't ask for a better group of girls to coach. They left everything on the floor. They wouldn't lay down. You know, pretty easy to do. If you're down 15 early, they fought like heck to get back in it, and I think we just might have ran out a little gas at the end. But you got to hand it to South Sioux. Their girls came out, played well, and deservingly, they deserve the gold.
It was an emotional ride for you. They say one of the toughest things to do is repeat. Is it true?
Yes. Obviously it is. We didn't do it. But we'll be back in next year, and hopefully we can knock off South Sioux and not let them repeat.
All right, thanks. Great run, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Carrier.
Coming in April to NET1.
Live coverage of the 2008 State High School Basketball Championships is brought to you in part by Nebraska's independent colleges offer individualized attention and a close student-faculty relationship with a goal of educational success. The Nebraska Abstinence Education Program, working to prevent teenage pregnancy and the spread of sexually transmitted disease by promoting sexual abstinence until marriage. Nebraska Furniture Mart, with 450,000 square feet of furniture, flooring, appliances, and electronics all in one store. It's worth the trip. Concordia University, Nebraska, is a Christ-centered community ready to prepare students for a life of leadership and service.
Welcome back to the Devaney Center as the first session of Championship Saturday and this 2008 Girls State Tournament is complete. This is a new thing for us as well. Of course, we're showing the championship games here, but across town at Pershing Center, they are playing the third place games in every class, and we do have a couple of finals for you from earlier today. In Class B, Lincoln Pius X downs Elkhorn 66-54. So Pius will get the Class B third place trophy, and in Class D1, it was Humphrey salvaging a 50-49 win over Arapahoe. Let's take a look at the final numbers in this one. And we told you about how the turnovers were, there was such a disparity in turnovers. Well, it kind of evened up there a little bit as we head down the stretch. Still Alliance with 25 turnovers this afternoon, but you take a look, field goal percentage, South Sioux shot worse. Alliance got a lot better in the second half. And the free throws, the one thing that gave Alliance the big win last year, well, not nearly as good as they were last season. Really a good game, though, and a game effort by Alliance to fight back when it looked like they were about ready to get blown out. Well, the state champs for the 11th time is Kelly Flynn and the South Sioux City Cardinals, and they're back with Kevin.
Thanks, John. Back in the winner's circle with head coach Kelly Flynn. Kelly, the 11th championship in South Sioux City High School history. How good does this feel?
This feels as great as any of them. They're always fun, but this one was really, really fun because this group has just been through so many close games and have won them every time, and I'm just so proud of them, and you keep thinking that one of them is going to get away, and you definitely didn't want this one to get away, and I was just really proud the way they stepped up and played defense at the end, came up with some big steals. Molly Fisher had that steal at the end there and got the timeout, and a lot of other players getting just a great job defensively, and Autumn Boyer and Michaela Knutsen's free throws at the end deciding the difference. And just the way the girls started, you could just see the energy, and it was a fun night for a lot of different players.
Up 15 at one point in time. Alliance roars back in the fourth quarter. What goes through your mind at that point in time?
Well, we talked about that at on the bench, that when you got a 40-some game winning streak and you're returning state champs, you don't go away, and you feel like you've got something to prove, and they did show that. They did keep coming back, and again, just so proud of these girls and so proud of our fans and our band and everybody else, our cheerleaders, that gave us that little bit of oomph at the end that we needed.
Right there at the end, the defense, which really gave you that lead to begin with, it's what comes up with the biggest play down the stretch.
Yeah, we had talked about that, about an Alliance having one of the best defenses in the state, but I'd really put ours up with anybody, because I think ours would even be better if we didn't go up tempo and run as much as we do. And tonight we did scale back a little bit that second half because we had that cushion, and now looking back, maybe we shouldn't have, but we had enough, like I said, fuel in the tank at the end, and I know they had fun, and we got the fans into it even more by making it as exciting as it was at the end.
Yeah, hindsight's always 20/20, isn't it? Well, finally, just talk about the senior class. They go out with the state championship. It's a special thing for them.
Yeah, it really is. That's a great group. Alexa Phipp's been a great leader for us, and Autumn Boyer is actually one of our leading scorers and hit some big buckets to win some key games during the season. And Molly Fisher just really comes in and gives us a spark, hard worker, and all three of them, we're going to miss them a great deal. Wish we had them back, but we've got some good ones coming back too.
Kelly, congratulations. We'll now bring in some of those players, starting with Alexa Phipps, one of the seniors that Coach Kelly Flynn just talked about. Alexa with a fine ball game today. The trophy in hand, it's a pretty nice feeling, right?
Yeah, it's nice. Good feeling.
And just talk about the end there. It was kind of furious that the Alliance came back and you guys were able to come away with the victory. Once the clock finally hit 0, describe that moment.
Oh my gosh, I was just searching for Michaela so I could jump on her. It was the best feeling I've ever felt. Coach Martin always said that it was going to be a great feeling, but it was 10 times more than I thought it would be.
Alexa, thank you very much. We'll let you hand off the trophy and bring in Autumn Boyer. Autumn with 5 points and a pair of rebounds today. Autumn, just talk about the defense. You guards up front created so much havoc for Alliance, and you heard Coach Flynn talk about that's what you guys really hang your hat on. Just talk about the defensive performance.
Well, we knew defense was going to be extremely important for this game, and they're really good ball handlers, so we just knew we had to give them some ground and step up.
Surprised that it was so successful and that at one point in time you had a 15-point lead?
Just a little bit. I knew that put us in a good position, but we knew that they were going to come back a little bit, so we had to just stick with them.
Autumn, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Up next is Emily Schroeder. South Sioux City all game long really got it done down low inside and keeping Jordan Hooper in check. That's an awfully tough assignment going up against arguably the state's best sophomore, but you guys got it done today. Talk about containing Jordan.
We just made sure that we always boxed her out and always knew where she was on the court. We never let her open. We tried our hardest to keep her contained, and we did what we could, and it worked.
That had to be a big part of the game plan going in. Is that correct? Get her in foul trouble and keep going after it down low?
Yeah, that was a huge key in the game. That was one of the main things we were trying to do because we knew that she was the one key player that they always looked to try to come back and get them back into the game.
Emily, congratulations. And then we'll bring in Kristen Sharp, also another one who had to defend Jordan Hooper, 10 points. He had a great first half, just the lead early. All in all, you get a state championship. What's this like?
Our coaches have always talked about it, how this would always feel so great. And just like Alexa said, it feels about 20 times better than I ever thought it would.
Does it maybe make up for some of the naysayers in Class B because everybody was talking about Alliance and that big 46, 47 game winning streak they had?
Yeah, I'd say it definitely took a lot out of everyone this whole game because we all knew that they had that big streak, but we all thought that we could do it.
Thank you very much. From a freshman to a senior, and the game's 2 biggest shots, the free throws at the end, that gives South Sioux City their 11th state championship. What is this like?
This is the best feeling I've ever had in my life. I'm so excited.
A little emotional. You didn't have those tears running when you were on the free throw line. As a leader of this team, did you want that situation? I'm guessing if anybody had the ball in their hands, it was you, right?
Yeah, I was looking to get the ball for that. I'm just doing it for my teammates, and I got up to that line, and I'm just like, I can't let everyone down. They just gave me so much confidence. They're coming, just calm down, you can do this. I'm like, okay.
For you personally, was it tough? You got in foul trouble in the fourth quarter, but had to hang in there because they needed you down the stretch.
I've had practice in foul trouble, sad to say, all year. So it's just, coaches say, play clean, play smart. My teammates need me, so I just go in there and just play for them, and everything. I don't know.
You're going to enjoy this one a little bit, aren't you?
This is awesome. This feels great.
All right, Michaela, thank you very much, and congratulations to your new Class B state champs, the South Sioux City Cardinals. Well, that'll do it for Session 1 here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Be sure to join us at 5 o'clock when we return to the Devaney for the Class C2 state championship. That's followed by Class A, and then the final game of the night, the D2 contest. Until then, for John Bishop and Dan Hedman, I'm Kevin Suits. We'll see you again at 5 p.m.
Coverage of the 2008 State High School Basketball Championships has been brought to you in part by Nebraska Community Colleges, State Farm Insurance, Nebraska's independent colleges, the Nebraska Catholic Conference, Concordia University, One Oak Energy Marketing, the Nebraska Abstinence Education Program, and by Nebraska Furniture Mart.